All right, everybody. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to get to hear from Ben, who is a brand new graduate from UNM in marketing, and he is our marketing director at Casa Dream Team. So what a cool opportunity to put you on the hot seat.
Yeah. Fresh out the college experience.
Mm-hmm. So what was that like?
College?
Yeah.
You learn a lot. I mean, academically for sure. But I think one of the bigger things that you learn is just how to get through it when it feels like you have a million things to do at the same time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not specifically about what assignments you do, and you do learn a lot, but it's that feeling of like, this week I have so many different things to do. There's only so much time, like, how do you get through it? And it teaches you how to have that, learn the patterns, just the strategies that you need to do and to implement to get through the week.
So do you feel like that's by design, that they give you more to do than a person can do?
I don't know. So it kind of feels like it sometimes, but it could be. But I think it's a good thing that it's difficult and that it's not super easy, because you obviously get more out of harder things.
Right.
So
if you can go back 4 years, when you graduated high school and you're thinking about, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? How did you come up with marketing?
Well, when I first graduated from high school, I was really into filming and making like movies and stuff and YouTube videos. And I went into the film school at UNM, and I took some film classes, and that's what I was almost sure that's what I wanted to do. And then, I don't know, after a few classes, I don't know what it was specifically. This might even be just because I was like nervous that I wasn't going to end up, like, it just seemed difficult. I couldn't see myself going from where I was at to working on like a movie set. I kind of felt like, I'm going to get screwed, and I can end up with a job that I don't like, not making a lot of money, And so I switched my major to undecided. And then I switched to business because I heard that that's a solid major. There's lots of business jobs out in the world. And so I think it might have initially been out of fear. And that's something that, it's not something I'm super proud of, but, I ended up where I did. Not saying that I'm like not saying that I'm like on top of the world right now, but my path is the way it is, and I wouldn't change it,
Right. Okay. So if you could go back, what would your major have been?
Like I said, I probably wouldn't have changed anything,
Okay.
Because right now I have some ideas and for what I want to do in the future, and I don't think I would have gotten those ideas if I had stayed where I was at.
Isn't it funny how life just gives you what you need when you need it, even though you don't realize it?
Yeah.
Puts you in places and areas. And okay, so now that you have a pretty good vision of what you want to contribute in this world, what you want to do, what are some steps that you're taking to get there?
Yeah. So one of the biggest ones was graduating from college, because that gives you a lot more time in a day and in a week. And so that was the first thing. So we did that. And
yes.
Yeah, now it's about the grind. And so I have certain things that I'm going to do every week, and that I'm doing every week, that are just non-negotiable, like they get done unless I'm sick or some other emergency happens. They got to get done that week. And it's just kind of something that is going to happen, and it's not a compromise. You can't compromise on it. So you have steps. And the other thing that I like about what I'm doing now is I enjoy it. So it allows you to work that much harder, and stay in the game for that much longer. So how important is that? If you're going to advise somebody who's getting into college right now, what advice would you give them? Yeah, I would say, you hear all day long, you hear be realistic, be realistic. I would say that's probably some of the worst advice you could have. Just because, obviously it may be coming out of a place of love, like, hey, we want you to be realistic because we want you to have a good, solid life with good, pay. But when you're coming out of college, and this applies to everyone, but especially for younger people, that figure out what you like. Spend time doing different things until you find something that you like. And where we are now in 2022 with the internet, and well, we live in America, but wherever you are, there are opportunities. There's just more opportunities than ever right now to make a living doing what you enjoy. Like the more you do something, or the more you want to do something, the more you will do it, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And then from that, it just turns into the opportunities. Just who knows what's possible in the world we live in right now.
Right on. And I I applaud you, because I totally agree. I mean, I could not agree more with what you said, because people are loving. They do love you. They want the best for you. They love you so much. Please don't go do that, because you're going to get hurt. Please just follow this little path that everyone thinks is the best. So what do you say to someone who is starting college and someone else is paying for that college and they want to do something totally different?
Yeah, well, I think you have to sit down with that person, have a serious conversation. But I don't think you compromise your values with that. I think if they refuse to pay for your college, unless you want to do something that you don't want to do, like they're trying to get you to do something you don't want to do, I think you either find a way to pay for it for yourself, or you don't go to college. Maybe you find another way. But I don't think you compromise your values just because someone else is paying for your schooling.
Okay. I find you very unique for someone who's just getting out of college to know. I think that's something that you probably don't even appreciate enough. Really, I don't think there's any way you could, because it's so rare for people to know what they love and know what they want to do, almost ever, let alone coming straight out of college. Why?
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing. For the longest time, I had no idea. Like, I would see my friends and they're like, hey, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. And I was like, I have no idea what I even want to do. And not up until recently, like very recently, I had no idea. And so, it wasn't, and I didn't develop a mindset until recently that I believed in myself that I could actually do what I wanted to do for a living, So that's where it all came from. If you don't know what you want to do right now, that's fine. Keep on just trying new things is what you want to do when you're in that situation until you find what you want to do.
Okay. So what happened with your mindset to give you that insight?
It's pretty funny. So I live super far away. Well, not super far, but a good half hour away from school. So it was a long drive there and back, and I would park far away and I would have to walk in, a good 20 minutes. So it's a good hour of just alone time, and I started listening to these like motivational videos, and I would just plop in my headphones. I'd listen to them in the car. I would listen to them on the walk to school, on the way back. And I started just because I thought in my head, I envisioned, people say like, imagine yourself, you're the main character in your own movie. And I was like, oh, this would be a really cool scene, listening, getting these inspirational quotes while you're like walking. It was raining the first day I started. And then the more I listened to them, the more I enjoyed them. And I started listening to them more and more. And there's a lot of good advice that they have. And then I started working with you guys, and you guys, with all your experience, you just added on to that. The information wasn't conflicting. You could tell that it was accurate when it's verified by people that I trust. And yeah, they just highlighted like, more and more, one of the big highlights, and this is one of my favorite pieces of advice, is just like, if it's hard, that's good. If it's hard, do it hard, and I took that, and I was just like, yeah, if it's hard, do it hard, but why not me? That's the big thing. All the time people think, and they're enslaving their own minds by saying, man, that'd be really cool to be that guy or to have what they have. But never once does it cross their mind, like, why not me? Why can't I be that person? And then once you do that, like, you're not going to achieve anything if you don't believe it yourself that you can. And so once you kind of develop that mindset, and I still have a lot of growth to do for sure. But,
me too.
Yeah, right. But you develop that, like, why not me? Why can't I be that person that's wherever you want to be, high status or wealthy, or just, has a large family? Once you kind of develop that mindset, your mind, it expands. It's like this for the people who can see. It's just you're here, and then it's just the possibilities are endless. Yeah. And we are so blessed right now to be living when we are, because this wasn't possible for a lot of people a long time ago. But right now, it's not only possible, but I think it's our responsibility to take advantage of the opportunities and see how far we can go.
So what do you mean by that? It's our responsibility. Responsibility to who?
To especially younger individuals, but each person, it's their responsibility. You can take this individually. It's your responsibility to find your own enjoyment in life. And if you're not where you want to be, you got to realize it's because of you. You know, we don't all start at the same place in life, but where we finish, that's on you, you know. But then you can also take it as it's your responsibility as young people, as individuals who started off with technology, and you start off with so much more like opportunities and just more technology and stuff that we can already do, that it's your responsibility to take it and to go farther for the next person. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It totally does. So of all the podcasts and books and all that, what would you recommend for somebody who's like, I don't know about all the self-development stuff?
Yeah, I mean, when you just frame it like, hey, you need self-development, even someone like me, I would be like, okay, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, my time's too valuable. I'm going to go watch TV on the time that I have off.
Yes, that's much more valuable.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, but people do it. I
Sure.
mean, that's I do it,
Yeah.
Less now, but yeah, could you repeat the question one more time?
Absolutely. Yeah. Is this the question, right? Of all of the self-development.
Oh, what do you recommend, right? Was it
Yeah,
what? Okay.
right.
Yeah. So really, there are a ton of good books. And for someone who may not be a huge reader, like I personally, I don't often just sit down with a book and spend time reading it, but audiobooks is a great way to do it. So there are a ton of good books, and I'm sure you know a lot about self-development. I personally like looking up, honestly, just look up motivational video and just listen to one and just see what comes up, and it's you hear from really successful people, Denzel, all these successful actors and all these wealthy people, they take their experiences and they give it to you, and then it's like you don't have to go and experience that yourself. You can learn from those people. Obviously, you're going to have your own experiences. So just if you just look up on YouTube, motivational video, ton of great videos are going to pop up. Books, I don't have a ton of them, but I would say if you do want to use a method of books, I do audiobooks and I listen to them while I do other things, while I drive, while I, edit videos and stuff like that. And it's just great to have it on, and be able to do other things at the same time.
Yeah, Tony Robbins calls that net time, no extra time. And it's so you could have a university on wheels, and it sounds like you were in university for real, but you were in your university in your car too. And you were investing in you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Jim Rohn, another, grandfather of all this stuff, says that if you will invest in yourself more, if you will work on yourself more than you work on your job, you will be incredibly valuable. I
mean, it's true though. It's good advice. People oftentimes, from what I've seen, is they will spend more time just on everything else, everything but themselves, right. And it's just like, if you take the time to develop yourself, it's honestly one of the most important things you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin said, empty the coins of your purse into your mind. And now you don't have to use your coins, do you? Well, other than buying the books. But like YouTube is, how much does it cost you?
I mean, you got to pay for internet, but like bare minimum, nothing.
Right.
It's free.
Learn from others.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you say is your experience as college, and you've been with Casa Dream Team now for about a year. With both of those, what would you say has been really impactful for you? Wow, I learned this and now I'll never go backwards.
Well, I think college taught me the importance of relationships, you know, because I've made some really solid friends in college, and that's something that I've realized, that when you have people that help you, it's makes things 10 times easier and you can get so much more done.
Yeah.
But I've also learned a lot from the Casa Dream team, and even like watching how you guys operate and interact with each other. And I think a lot of smart, important people like Buffini talk about the importance of how much more you'll get done, not only having a team, but making sure that everyone on that team is, you know, feels like family almost. You know, they feel taken care of. They feel like they can speak up whenever, and that's when you're most efficient.
There you go. Okay, so if you had the opportunity to talk to management of anything, management of people who are 50 and older, who still have that backwards thought of, you work for me and you'll do what I say and don't talk to unless you're talked to. What would you say to those people?
I would say just give it a shot, you know, just try it for like a month and then just see the difference. Are you really making that much more if you're treating everyone like garbage, you know, than you would if I'd be willing to bet the house that there are so many amazing ideas that people have under you that they just would never say, because you make them feel that they don't have the opportunity to say, or they're not welcome to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That is, I'm so glad we're talking about this, because we're totally from different generations, and to be able to talk about this. And it is because I was raised, for lack of a better word, raised in that kind of an environment where it's the management down, and you don't, as an employee, you don't ever say, well, if you did this, it would help a whole lot. You know, so many of the managers that we just referenced are just having a horrible time in their jobs, and they don't understand why. Mm-hmm. Because it's the way they've always done it. Yeah.
I mean, there's a hierarchy for sure. Like, definitely have respect always, you know. But yeah, it's just, I don't feel like it has to be that way anymore.
Respect is a two-way street, right?
Yeah.
It truly is. It's seeing it the other way. I just love it. I just love the way our team works. We all have the utmost respect for each other. There's no way that we could do what you do. There's no way Casa Dream Team could be doing as well as it is if we didn't have your expertise, right?
The same way, yeah, I couldn't do anything that you guys do. So
yeah, so it's.
But when we work together, it's, you know,
it's amazing. It is amazing. All right, so your advice to people is to look up motivational videos. Is there any other person that has, like, not person personally, but like figure or books or anything that you would recommend?
You know, specifically nothing's coming to mind. I would say just be open-minded about it. You know, like, everyone seems to have a preconception about most things. Just give it a shot. You know, if it's not for you, then it's not for you, and that's fine. At least, you know, you tried it. But yeah, I mean, just be open-minded about it.
Okay. So, what can we expect out of Ben in the next 5 years, now that you have graduated? What is your 5 years from now? I would like to have my business doing this, because you have your own business.
Yeah,
along with working with Casa Dream Team. So how cool is that? You know, you get right out of college, you've got a job, and you've got a business already going. So what do you expect in 5 years?
You know, I hope, and I do believe that it probably will happen, but I think I'll probably be able to live fully off of money that I'm making, doing what I want to be doing, you know, doing what's fun, doing what I enjoy. And I think by then, I mean, literally, who knows in this world that we live in, but I think I don't want to give us specifics yet, but just like you can tell when you look back, there'll be a big difference in 5 years then from where I am now.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. A little coaching on the side. If you don't have a target, you're never going to hit it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do have a target. I just don't want to say it right now.
Oh, you don't want to be public about it?
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
that's cool. I can respect
be
that.
careful about who you tell your
Share your
ideas to,
goals
because
with.
especially people can take them,
Right.
Exactly.
All right. So, Ben, about your goals, what are some tips and tricks that you've accomplished a lot in your 24 years? Are you 24?
I'm 21.
21?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're a badass.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. So you've accomplished quite a bit in your 21 years. What would you say, what advice would you give to someone who has big dreams and goals like you do?
Yeah. So first you got to develop your mindset. Like I said, if you don't believe yourself that you can do it, it's not going to happen. But a big thing, and it took me such a long time to do this thing because I kept on saying, I don't need to do it. I don't need to do it. Is writing it down. You got to write it down somewhere where you can see it, maybe put it in your bedroom somewhere on your nightstand, somewhere where you're going to look at it and think about it, because I would always just be like, it's all good. I'll remember it. It's in my head. But it's such an important step, and people don't realize how important it is.
Okay.
So you got to write down your goals, and then I know some previous guests talking about time blocking. Write it down, and then set out specific days, specific times on those days when you do it. When you go and there, like I said, there's no compromise with yourself. It gets done, like almost no matter what. And you don't have to overdo it. Like leave some time off for yourself. Like I think I heard Joe Rogan talking about. He's like, make sure when you go to the gym, you don't have to overdo it. Make sure you really appreciate those Tuesdays and Thursdays. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, know that you're going to the gym and you're gonna hit it hard. That's just how it is. And then when you start setting goals and hitting them and seeing that you're hitting them, that's when you start building confidence and you start building the mindset of I'm doing it. Focus on what you can see now. You don't have to, like when I was going through college, I would just focus on how to get through the week. Get through the week. Didn't even think about the semester, the end of the year. Focus on what you can see now. Focus on what you're doing now, and then you're gonna look back later and you're gonna see a completely different person if you just focus on what you're doing and doing the best at what you can do and what you can control.
Very cool. So step one is you write it down.
Write it down. Do it. If you can, find someone to hold you accountable. I have a good buddy, and what we do, and we've been kind of slacking on this, but every week we call each other and say, hey, did you meet your goals? Did you do what you say you were going to do?
Cool.
And it doesn't have to be like, if you don't do it, then there's like a punishment or anything, or you get like scolded by your friend, but just try to find someone to hold you accountable for it.
So how does it feel when you know that call is coming up and you did do what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, no, it feels great. I'm excited to talk to the person, rather than when you don't do it and you're like, oh gosh, I got to admit not only to myself, but to someone else that I lied to myself. I didn't do what I said I was going to do.
Very cool. All right. So any last parting words, Ben, of advice for somebody who just wants to make their life better than it is?
Yeah. Life's hard. And it's not only hard for you, it's hard for everyone. And it may sound cliche to say, but you grow through the hard times. The harder it is, the more you'll grow. That's how it is. If everything's great all the time, it's growth just doesn't happen. And so know that if it's really hard and you're really struggling, great things are coming. Just believe in yourself, do what you got to do. It's going to be hard. That's good. Do it hard.
So even during the hardest times, is that the most important time that you still maintain the good habits?
Yeah, no, that is the most important time. You build confidence in yourself. If you're going through a storm, they say don't ask for the storm to be over. Ask what you can accomplish in the rain.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it. All right. Well, it's a pleasure working with you. Congratulations on your graduation.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
Thank you. Pleasure working with you guys too.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
All right. Bye.